new album's called Cocoon. And Cocoon, as we know, is a metaphor for transformation. And the feeling that one will get when listening to the album is that of a transformation, stylistically and lyrically, aesthetically. I wrote it while I was in Europe. I spent a lot of time in Berlin, looking out over the river from my apartment and sort of observing people in what is still a post-war environment, and you don't get a sense of that until you were there. For Europeans, it seems that history seems to linger longer there than it does here. And the themes of Cocoon that I've written lyrically have a lot to do with modern religion and spirituality, and a lot of things that I enjoy about humanity, and also the things that I absolutely despise about it. And it's probably obvious to a lot of my listeners that I don't trust organized religion, but I do have specific opinions on religious events that have happened in the past year that I've written about in this new album, and they will pick up on it or they don't. If they don't, then it's just personal meaning to them, which isn't bad. I'm recording it at 33rd Street Studio in Edmond. Tyler Garcia is been producer and engineer, and I'm going to get assistance once again from Joel Price on some of the production and engineering side of things. I have a new lineup. Brian Daniel is now playing an upright bass and doing some cello things on the album. Mark is playing the keyboards, Braden is on drums. I have Leon Manson from Sonic Violence on guitar, and he adds a sort of a no-wave texture. And he also adds elements of the Kinks and the Rolling Stones into it. Kyle Calicote is also playing bass on the album. Amy Downs is doing background vocals, and then of course there's Wong. And we will be touring in July through the West Coast. We'll see how that works. And if everything is well received, we're going to keep moving forward. That means that we'll do an East Coast tour, we'll tour the South again, we'll tour the North again, and keep playing shows in the Midwest, and expanding. And there are a lot of ambitious projects that we have in the works. We are branching out into film scoring. We're starting silent movies. Then we have some local independent movies we're going to work with. And then we'll get our foot in the door with that sort of thing, hopefully. I'm also doing a Bowie tribute show with members of the Venditos and Ballsy, which are 2 local bands. And this sort of whiz kid guitarist, Chris Wilson, J.R. Rieger, and Amy Downs, and a lot of very talented people. And I'm David Bowie in it. And we go through all the stages, from Ziggy through Plastic Soul, through Thin White Duke, through the 80s. And it's about 2 hours, which was hard to narrow down because he made all of the songs forever. He made all of the songs. So we had to go through what was like 16 hours worth of material initially, and then narrow it down into 2. To get into the role, I filled a swimming pool with cocaine and I swam around in it for a day, just listening to AM radio talking about UFOs and stuff on a loop, and I think I've gotten into the headspace of David Bowie, and I've stopped pissing blood since then, but my sinus cavity hasn't repaired itself. But I'm a method actor, so it's all part of the thing. It's, you know, a sacrifice for the sake of art. And, well, that's me. How are you? Okay, so the Bowie show, there's a lot of costume changes, and what I did there. And we had the help of a woman named Christine, who is a Christine Lent, who's a theater professional, very good at what she does, and she's helped me with my costume, which leaves very little to the imagination, and with my makeup and stuff, and basically in the Ziggy Stardust thing, that's when I'm wearing the most makeup, I have the most, you know, flamboyant outfit on, which is, it's literally just one. Then after I'm done prancing around in that, you know, I have to go backstage and put on clothes over that as she's redoing my makeup and my hair. So we've been orchestrating this sort of dance doing that. And then Plastic Soul, David Bowie does more of this, you know, dandified cocaine, you know, addict thing where he's got a cane and he's got poofy hair and he's got like this tweed suit and stuff, very British, you know, and he then starts becoming paranoid and interested in fascism. Then you get the Thin White Duke period, which starts with Station to Station. And then I change into my vest, my black vest with the white shirt, the collar on the outside of the vest, you know, and the pinstripe pants and stuff, hair slicked back. And he's that character that he does for that is very cold, which comes naturally for me. It might be hard for you to believe, but I actually have a hard time socializing. And my previous misanthropy comes into play, getting into that character. And I am well versed in Nazi history and things like that. Of course, I'm not a practitioner. But I am savvy when it comes to the darker periods of history and things about the occult and stuff like that. It's merely just an interest, as much as I'm interested in other curious things that people do, humans. And after this period, then we have the 80s, which you know, is that god-awful canary yellow jacket that he wears, and I do sort of a flippy haircut, and the Let's Dance under pressure sort of stuff, China Girl, ashes to ashes, and then I have a little surprise up my sleeve at the end for the encore, and let's just say that I dress like Tina Turner for one song, and that it will remind you of the Babe. Babe with power, etc. I start with whiskey and then I move on to wine. No, it's a lot of getting into tight clothes and makeup. I mean, we rehearse as much as we can throughout the week, you know, and I do a lot of woodshedding at home. I have an upright piano, and since I have so many songs to remember old, new, David Bowie songs. I sit there at the piano and I will play these songs, rehearsing to myself as much as I can. So then by the time I come here, after all the band rehearsals and everything, it's second nature. Plus I've done this for over a year now, Kali Ra. And so, you know, and I've been well versed in music performance before that, more as a student. And, you know, that's pretty much my method. But there is a bit of getting into a headspace that happens because of the lyrics, the lyrical material that I write about, that I do at some point have to get into a place that I don't like, but it's for the purpose of catharsis. And, you know, anybody who's come to my show knows that the shows are intentionally very cathartic, very active. So, you know, I exercise it like so many demons. Those who observe what I'm doing know that it's sort of a revolving door. And it's not necessarily intentional, it's just that the people that I work with have short attention spans and kind of go from one thing to another. And you know, I guess the Kali Ra, like Robert Smith is to the Cure or something, or Reznor to the Nails because I'm the figurehead of the band, because of the revolving door thing. Like, so I'm the guy, and you know, it's not that I believe that I'm some sort of character or something and I'm living out this vicarious, deeply psychologically disturbing thing. It's just circumstance. So, you know, figurehead of the band, and then these people that I know that I befriend are good people that I think have a good work ethic or have something stylistically unique who will be able to bring something to the table. I bring them in, and then we rehearse the songs for months. And sometimes I'll do that while I have a certain lineup. So then when I know that that lineup is going to go away, I have a new one in its place to do the new set of songs. So, play a chess game with myself, basically. I was in garage bands as a teenager and stuff. And I would get real fucking nervous. Like, I would get the tremors and stuff, or I'd just freeze up on stage like I didn't know what to do. And I wouldn't be able to talk to the audience or anything, even though I should have. And I'd just fucking blank. I'd just play the songs and then I'd want to get the fuck off the stage as soon as possible. And, you know, after a while I matured and realized what I signed myself up for. I studied the theater. I studied Antonin Artaud's theater concepts and watched a lot of bands, attended a lot of shows. And that is something that is very important to a lot of aspiring musicians out there, is that if you want to be a good performer, if you want to be in the scene, you go to a lot of shows. And I did that. I still do whenever I get a chance. But I got over it just with filling my head with the knowledge and doing it. Just doing the thing over and over and over again, and purposely putting myself in situations that made me uncomfortable. And exposing myself, you know, in emotional and physical ways. I sometimes, you know, will just remove my clothing in front of the audience to a certain extent, you know, just so there's no barriers between them and I. There's something that Antonin Artaud talked about, and that was the theater of cruelty. And in the theater of cruelty, he talks about breaking down the fourth wall, and then the audience and the performers become one. And this surrealist cabaret that they are all a part of. The theater piece then involves the audience into it, and it becomes this cathartic thing. And that's what I do. And after it, not just learning about it, but embracing this ideology, that I have stripped myself of any preconceived notions about being nervous or having stage fright, or, you know, caring what people will think of me, because a show is just a happening that happens with you and the audience. You're there, it's an experience. It happens in real time. And whatever happens, you know, that's what they remember, for good or bad, and you have to accept that after it's done. It's history. You've moved on since then. So each performance is new, and you get a fresh start each time. Tabula rasa.
The